Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday. Welcome to the live stream. Nice to see everyone. Hello, Payne's Toy Samples and the Figure Six Pack, and Matt Rubin and Terrence and Nyquist. And I already said hi to Matt, but hello again. Hi, Cyclonus. Nice to see you. Hello, from the Hilt. Thank you for being here, everybody. It's great to see everyone. We have much to talk about. There's Marianne. Hi, I saw Marianne earlier today, in fact. Hello. Uh, um, Hello, Marianne, in virtual cyberspace, after seeing you in actual for real space. Nice to see you. Hello, Joshua. Hey, Firefly. Hey, nice to see Firefly in here. How do you do? Yeah, it's been a minute. Glad to see you. Um, okay, so guys, we have a lot to talk about. And I've made a list. I made some show notes again. We've got to talk about some Cobra convergence. We've got to talk a little bit about San Diego Comic-Con stuff that came up. So we've got some news. We've got to talk about the most recent video. Oh, by the way, I've got a pineapple behind me. So in case anybody's wondering, occasionally I just like to have a pineapple behind me. Doesn't everyone? Um, by the way, Marianne, Amanda dropped off the pool inflatables. We got a yeah with the we got I got the floaties, and she blew them up for me, which was nice. So Amanda stopped by and she blew my inflatables. Figuratively speaking, and literally, also literally. The floaties are here. That's what I'm saying. So that's that's for the that's for the pool. Anyway, what was I talking about? We have a lot to do. We have a lot to talk about. We've got news. We've got packages. We've got. Oh man, I just knocked my knife over in the floor. Hold on. Okay, we've got packages. I did check the PO box. I've got 2 packages to open, and I've got 1 not to open. But that's something we've got to talk about. I do need to deal with something. I've got to address something. It is not something fun, but it needs to be addressed. And I will do that at the end of the show. Let's do the fun stuff first. Hello, Big Gay Dave. Nice to see you. Hello, Cobra Island. Where are we? It's a moving target. Exactly. Good point. Beer can full of absolutely valid point. Was Rob Vegas in here? I didn't say hello to Rob. I'm sorry if I. Oh, and hello, Treasures for Trigger, who had Cobra Convergence today, and talked about. Well, I have it in my show notes. Talked about Japan's Cobra figures, which was awesome. It was very informative, and there was a cameo. There was a cameo at the end. I don't know if I'm supposed to be. I don't know if I'm supposed to spoil the surprise, but there's a cameo at the end. But thank you for Treasures for Tigger. Hey, it's Cujo. Nice to see you, Cujo. So yeah, we got some serious stuff. Nyquist is correct. No O-ring news, and it doesn't seem like they are going to be doing much O-ring stuff in the short term, at least. I know that there are some O-ring figures that are going to be included with like the Transformers crossovers. Apparently, that's going to be a thing. Beyond that, I don't know of any additional O-ring news, but there is some news. Yes, I'm putting everybody on notice. You're all warned that the back half of this show will be addressing a more serious topic. So we'll be doing that. So get out while you can, is what I'm saying. Get out while you can. Let's deal with the fun stuff first. First of all, it is Tuesday. That means it's a new episode of Half the Battle. Timmer he reviews the I can't say it, the LCV Recon Sled, which is an odd little vehicle. I have looked at the LCV Recon Sled before. It is an interesting but odd little vehicle. Yeah, there he is. There he is. I missed Rob when he came in, but hello, Rob. And hey, look at that. Bye, hi, Chad, and bye, Chad. Hello, JLS Comics. Hey, the gang's all here. This is awesome. Joe Fan 84, nice to see you. Yeah, it's really nice to see Chad after a short hiatus. Glad Chad is back. So, where was I? New episode of Half the Battle, RCV Recon Sled. New episode of What's on Joe Mind. They will be talking to the producer of the new Kickstarter, Easy Kill 9. Hey, you want some O-Ring news? Check the new Kickstarter for Easy Kill 9, which I did put a link to in the description of this video. So please check the links in the description of the video. There's a link to Timmer. There's a link to What's on Joe Mind. There's a link to Easy Kill 9 and a couple other important links that you should check. The Easy Kill 9 Kickstarter is being run by some folks that we know. Like, this is somebody that is involved in other Joe stuff. This is someone who is not unknown to the community, and is somebody that I would trust to follow that through in an ethical way, and that's important, and that's the theme. That's the theme for the night. That's the theme for the night. Hey, there's Rob. I always plug the show. What's on Joe Mind, Easy Kill 9. That's a special right after this show. So right after this show, you can roll right into that. And in fact, this show may be short. Because after I finish up the stuff that I need to talk about, I just may shut it down at that point. I don't want to overstay my welcome, so to speak. But okay, Timmer, What's on Joe Mind? My most recent video was the Cobra bug and the Secto Viper. And I had some special help from Chris from Comic Tropes. Chris has been very, very generous with his time. This is a guy who runs a much larger channel. You know, he's a very busy person. And not only does he take the time to, check in on me and chat with me, but he takes the time to do special things for my show. He had talked to me. He had actually brought me the idea of doing like a Secto Viper cosplay. So I thought, okay, that could be really cool. But what would I do with it? How can we use this opportunity? Oh, hello, Sparkster. Nice to see you here, Sparkster. Always nice to see you. And thank you. I'm glad you liked it, Rob. So while thinking about it, I read the file card, and that gave me the inspiration, because based on the Secto Viper's job, I think most other Vipers are just not going to like him very much. He's the guy who rolls up on people while they're just trying to mind their own business on the beach. So that's when it occurred to me that we need to do a cops-themed Secto Viper intro. And Chris was a really good sport. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the clips as he was sending those in to me. So thank you, Chris. Chris, who may not be here right now, but usually he does check in, and I will. I've thanked him several times personally, but I thank him here as well. Exactly. The Narc Viper. So that was my most recent video. Oh, and Chris is the one that sent me the Cobra bug in the first place. He sent that to me for the purpose of reviewing. So Chris gets credit for everything other than what I recorded. Chris gets credit for all of that. Oh, and not just Chris. We got to give credit to two other people. To Chrissy, Chris's wife, who was the Viper in that video, and to Marianne, who was my collaborator and camera person when I shot my parts. So thank you to everyone. That was a collaborative effort, and it could not have happened without everyone's help. So thank you to everyone who assisted in that, and I really appreciate it. And thank you, Chris. I know that is it's not easy to take the time to do something like that when you are, in fact, a very busy person. So thank you very much. Anyway, I hope everybody liked the bug review. I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed that one. That's one of the videos that I've enjoyed the most that I've worked on this month. Thank you, Marianne. Thank you, thank you, Marianne. Plot twist: he was already wearing that at the beach. Yeah, see, that's just that's his bathing suit. That's his normal beach wear. So let's talk very briefly about the San Diego Comic-Con announcements. Very briefly. In fact, I'm only going to hit the highlights because I want to spend more time talking about the presenters in Cobra Convergence, because they are the ones who are doing most of the work this month. So I want to make sure that we highlight them and that you all check them out. So as far as the San Diego Comic-Con announcements, we got mainly like classified series reveals. Some of them were pretty good. Actually, a lot of them were pretty good. But the ones that stood out to me, and I'll keep it brief, like I said, I'll keep it brief. But the ones that stood out to me were the Vamp and Clutch. So we're going to get a Vamp at retail. It's not a HasLab. It's going to be released at retail in some form. That is a really good sign for the brand. It'll probably be really expensive, but that's a really good sign for the brand. So that's really cool. Plus, I like getting the 82 characters. The 1982 characters are a bit, underappreciated sometimes. So the fact that they're going back and giving us some, I think, is great. And to get a Clutch, fantastic. So that stood out to me. Another one that stood out to me was the SMS with, I believe it was the Techno Viper that it was going to include. The SMS, which was a Sears exclusive set. It was a recolor of the Cobra His Tank and the G.I. Joe MMS, recolored red and black. It's a really striking set. It's a pretty cool set. But it's also a set that maybe a lot of people are not as familiar with. And I got to say this is something that I do appreciate. All right. Is that they are definitely playing the hits, right? They're giving us the things that you would expect to give us. Lots of versions of Snake Eyes. They've given us a couple versions of Duke already. That you expect those things and you get those things. But the SMS that's a deeper cut. That is something that your casual average fan is not going to be as familiar with. If you've been collecting G.I. Joe and if you've been around it for a while, you're all automatically like, hello, I know exactly what that is. But your average man on the street, it probably isn't going to have that aha moment. And I appreciate those choices, because that's for us, right? That, if they can put out like as many versions of Snake Eyes as they want, and somebody will be out there buying Snake Eyes. All right, they could just it's like printing money. But there's a lot more to G.I. Joe than that, and we get these little windows. It's kind of like what they did with the Prophet Director Destro figure. Even though I don't really like that figure, I think that was an odd choice, and that's a whole thing. I don't want to open that can of worms, but it's still the same idea. This is something that, if you've been around G.I. Joe for a while, you know exactly what that is. If not, then it may not make any sense, right? But these occasional little nods to the people who have been around for a while, I appreciate that. I do. Having said that, small caveat, it's still got to make money. It's still got to sell. We can't have G.I. Joe failing at retail, because that's when the bean counters decide that they're going to reel it back in. They're gonna cut the budgets. They're gonna lower the number of units that they introduce every year or every wave. So it's still got to sell. It's nice. It's nice that they're giving us the deep cuts. And please continue to do that. But it's like the only way we're going to get more G.I. Joe is if what we have is successful. So, yeah, like there are fans of O-Ring G.I. Joe that they got some new stuff for a while, and that was really cool. But that is a group that is underserved right now. There are fans of modern construction G.I. Joe that are underserved right now. So, I mean, we need to. I want to see G.I. Joe diversify a little bit, and the odd thing is that it was more diversified, and it's kind of becoming less diversified as we go. So I think that if I could choose something that I would improve, that's what I would improve. Is the diversity of the types of products, even if like some of the like non-classified stuff, the stuff in the other scales, even if it's licensed, even if they licensed it to somebody else to produce those, if they felt like their profit margin wasn't great enough for it, I could live with that. I just want to make sure that these other parts of the fandom are as appreciated as collectors of classified. And I think Rob mentioned like Shockwave. That's going to be a great one. Buzzer, who is my favorite Dreadnought. Buzzer, my favorite Dreadnought. So I'm not gonna say no to Buzzer. So I know that's a very brief, really just skimming the surface of the San Diego Comic-Con announcements, and I apologize for that, but I want to keep that to a minimum because we have a lot to talk about. Okay, plus I have 2 boxes to open and 1 box to not open. I'll get to that. All right, let's do this. Oh, and some folks have come in. JLS says diverse. Let's get Lobotomax driving a Buzzbore. You know, I would appreciate the absurdity of that. I do appreciate absurdity from time to time, and I could appreciate the absurdity of that. But I'll tell you, there are some folks who would enjoy that unironically. There are fans. So here we go. I wanted to, first of all, I want to go through the Cobra Convergence presenters from last week. In case you missed them, you can always go to HCC788.com, click on their links in the calendar if you did miss them. But just to roll back and remind everybody that last week we had the Joe on Joe podcast, who did Frost Destro. If you've seen Frost Nixon, which is, I mean, for historical purposes, watch the actual interview. Of course, watch the movie as well. The movie was pretty good, but primary sources, folks, primary sources. But it was a parody of Frost Nixon, and it was Frost Destro. Brilliant. Joe on Joe always does something incredibly creative for Cobra Convergence. So Joe on Joe podcast, My Side of the Laundry Room, did crazy Cobra schemes. And this is something that, this, especially in the animated form, if you want to get to the essence of Cobra, this is how you have to like make your hand into a fist while saying the essence of Cobra. You got to look at the absurdity of their plans to take over the world. And My Side of the Laundry Room has been in Cobra Convergence for years now. So thank you to My Side of the Laundry Room for doing that. Rob Vegas, who has been, who is right there, Coinky Dink. Rob Vegas did the Night Vulture, and that's an underappreciated figure, a lesser known figure, a rather purpley figure. We always do blue for Cobra Convergence, but Cobra likes them some purple. Especially in the later years, there was more purple than blue. But thank you again for Rob Vegas for being in and for doing the cameo. The Photo Viper did a toy motion story, a diorama story involving Doc being kidnapped to operate on Scrap Iron, who had been injured in an explosion. It's very dramatic. It's very dramatic. So that's the Photo Viper. He does a lot of toy photography. Check out his toy photography. G.I. Joburg. I hardly have to mention G.I. Joburg. Everybody knows G.I. Joburg. Everybody does. And you should. If you don't know G.I. Joburg, look them up. You will like them. So they did a vast storyline. Vast, like universe sprawling storyline. Shattered Realms is what it is, and you just have to see it. The creativity level on that is off the charts. So thank you, G.I. Joburg, and all of the people. They had an army collaborating on that. I will apologize to G.I. Joburg because I've been doing interviews with Cobra Convergence participants, and I was supposed to do an interview with G.I. Joburg corresponding with their Cobra Convergence presentation. I had to cancel. It's the first one I've had to cancel. There were so many other things going on. The time got sucked away by other things. But I apologize. I love the Joburg guys. How can you not? How can you not love the Joburg guys? But I really regret being unable to do the interview. I was really looking forward to that. I hope we can make it up sometime. So again, my apologies, but do check out G.I. Joburg. Then we've got Ratface44 Reviews, who did the San Diego Comic-Con classified Zartan. This is the Master of Disguise Zartan. So it is classified scale. I have looked at I've looked at two versions of classified Zartan. I looked at the regular retail release classified and the retro. And I did a compare and contrast. Well, this is the classified Zartan that I don't have. This is the classified Zartan that comes with all the stuff and has the color change feature, like the temperature sensitive color change feature. That's that. I don't have it. That is something that I watch to get information on something that I don't have. So thank you, Ratface44 Reviews, first time in Cobra Convergence. Really appreciated. Speaking of Zartan, Island of Misfit Toys Collectors, I really think that Dreadnought Ryan, who runs that, he's great. Love the guy. And he talked like on a more personal level about his appreciation for Zartan and kind of his personal history with Zartan. And it kind of gets at why we all started enjoying this kind of thing in the first place. I mean, why we latched onto it in the first place and why it was important to us at a younger age. So thank you, Ryan. That's Island of Misfit Toys Collectors. And then today, Treasures for Trigger, first time on the calendar for Cobra Convergence, did Cobra's Japan's Cobra figures. These are the Takara Cobra figures. I know next to nothing about about a lot of international releases, but in particular the Takara releases, I know this much. So every part of that was incredibly informative. Plus, I won't go ahead and spoil it. I'll go ahead and spoil it. There's a cameo at the end with our friend Rob Vegas, and I've got to say, like, it really, I love seeing people work together. That is something that in the YouTube space didn't happen very often before we started Cobra Convergence. And now people are working together on a regular basis. And I love that. I love that. So thank you, Treasures for Trigger. So that's everything from last week up to today. Next week, we have Anything Joe's, Toy Domination, Codename New 202, Articulated Points, Podcast from the Pit, and Agent Chuckles. So he has both some veteran Cobra Convergence presenters and some new Cobra Convergence presenters. So make sure you check them out. Website, HCC788.com. There's a calendar there. Just go check them out, follow, subscribe. There's also, like, I'm still doing the weekly fan participation video. So even if you're not on the calendar, you can still get in Cobra Convergence. So also on HCC788.com, there's a link that you can follow with instructions for how to participate if you want to. A lot of people have done it, and I think that's fantastic. We have found a lot of the people that we got on the calendar through that kind of participation. So if that's something, if you're like interested in being a presenter on the calendar at some point in the future, that's a way to like make everybody aware that you're out there, that you're creating, that you're doing things. That's how we get a lot of folks in. That's how we learn about a lot of people who are out there creating things. So please participate if you can. A lot of people have, and I've really appreciated everybody's effort. Now let's move on to opening these boxes. I have two boxes here. I have cut away the return address on this one. I don't want to dox anybody. I don't want to give away anybody's address on the TV. This one didn't have an address, so it's I didn't have to cut that away. I have, where's my knife? I have cut the tape on these two boxes. I've cut the tape on these two boxes, but I haven't looked inside. I don't know what's in there. I have my knife because sometimes there's more packaging inside that I have to cut. But I figure if I cut the boxes before we start the live stream, it will at least reduce the chance that I will cut myself on live television. Doesn't eliminate the chance, but at least reduces the chance. Hey, there's Comic Tropes. I thank Comic Tropes profusely, and the Secto Viper parts were a lot of fun. So thank you again, Chris. It's always okay if you're late. I am often late. But I'm just happy that you're here. Thank you very much. There are always tons of Secto Viper questions, but we refer all those questions to the Lawyer Vipers. But now we are going to open this, or these. I'm going to start with this one on top, just because it's on top. These were in the PO box. I was able to check the PO box this week. It's harder for me to check it nowadays. This has a note that says, "Please read me first." So I will. I got to read it to myself, just to make sure there's nothing too personal in here. Let me see. Huh. Okay, that's nice. Okay. I don't think this is too personal, so I will read it aloud. I am reading it aloud. It says, "Dear Hoodie, thank you for hosting this year's annual fan event. Thank you for participating in it. It's made me rediscover the childhood hobby during times of life's difficulties. Such a fan event motivated me to create an exclusive custom for Cobra Convergence 7. Enclosed are 2 boxed figures, one for the gracious host," that's the cat, "the second one to be freely raffled off to the amazing participants of this year's event." Whoa, cool. I think these are the first Cobra Convergence exclusive figures. In conclusion, I hope Cobra Convergence continues to be an annual tradition to many hardcore G.I. Joe fans to showcase their creativity, dedication, and enthusiasm to this amazing hobby. I thank you and many fan participants that continue to keep the hobby alive. Regards, Figure Six Pack. Thank you for that. And thank you for your support. Figure Six Pack has supported the channel for quite some time, and it's much appreciated. The first Cobra Convergence exclusive figures. Let's see. This is in it's in a box. But hey, check it out. It's got a label, it's got a logo. Let me see if I can safely open this. This is intriguing. Okay. There's packing material. Hey, cool. Look at this. Oh, we got accessories too. I do not want to lose the accessories. I'm going to place the accessories here, then I'll show you. This is what we got. So this is Project Delilah CS01. The name Sergeant Carol Wielder. Carol Wielder. Oh, look at this. It has the classified symbols on it. That's very clever. That's very clever. So this is Sergeant Carol Wielder. Number 7 of 13. So I'm sorry. I'm looking at this, but I'm not showing you. So check that out. Check that. That is a sharp uniform. That's a sharp uniform. I like that. I like that. That looks great. That looks great. And it looks like her stocking lines are straight. Well done. You know, can be tough getting those lines straight. Well done. And let me see. Oh, hold on. Okay, yeah. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't losing anything. All right. Before I look at the accessories, let's look at these symbols and see if we can figure out what they mean. Okay, so this one obviously is a drive-in movie theater. This one looks like a town square with a bunch of roads going in and out of it. So that's going to be a lot of traffic congestion right there. Let's see. This one, that's a bike lock because she bikes her way to work. She likes to stay healthy and active. So she bikes her way to work. That's very nice. And this is where it's contradictory, because this is anti drive-in movie theater. So like she likes drive-in movie theaters, but she's also anti drive-in movie theaters. Explain that. So this is fantastic. Thank you so much. First ever Cobra Convergence exclusive figure, just in time for the Barbie movie. Just in time for the Barbie movie. So that's awesome. I'm going to carefully replace this in the box. Where did I? No. Hold on. Accessories. I got them. I got the accessories. So the accessories include, some may call this a purse. I call it a satchel charge, and a pistol. Looks like a 1911. Looks like old school. This is awesome. So thank you. There's still another one. There's still another one in there. So let me. I'm trying to be really careful with this. I would be very upset with myself if somebody goes through all the trouble of sending something and then I lose or break it. That's always my fear, is that like somebody's going to send something to me and I lose or break it. I would be devastated. Figure number two. Let's see. This one. Okay, so it's the same lady, same lady. And hold on, let's see. Are her stockings straight? Her stockings are straight. That's excellent. Important. Comes with the accessories, and this. It says this one is for raffle. So I will have to find a way. I'm going to have to get creative, because I want to. I really like the idea of giving this away. Thank you for sending this. And now I will ponder the best way to get this in the hands of a G.I. Joe fan, of a Cobra Convergence fan. And just in case you're wondering, same symbols on the back, same pro and anti drive-in movie theater screen, So yeah, same thing. But thank you. And the project. I like the packaging too, and this is nice. That's our number 7. Cool. So thank you for this. I am carefully placing it over there because I do not want anything to happen to it. I am keeping the letter. I always keep the letters. Now this one, which does not have a name on it, but as I open the box, I see a note that says Hootie Coco. So let's see. Okay, so this one also does not include too much personal information. So, this says, "Hi, Hootie Coco," and thanks to Comic Tropes for coining the Hootie Coco name, forever linked. So I've been watching your channel for some time and greatly enjoy your content. Thank you very much. Your reviews are always entertaining and thorough. I always, although I do miss the more lengthy skits you used to perform. I've been working that in, and again, thanks to Chris for assisting with that this week. Either way, keep up the great work. Your vids are always a highlight of my week. So I saw. Oh, it does say what's in there. Should I? I shouldn't spoil it. Hold on, I won't spoil it. It does say what's in there. Okay. Well, thank you. I'm only skipping that section because I don't want to spoil what's in there. Again, I just want to say how much I appreciate your videos and look forward to many more. If there's any chance of seeing this on a Class of Friday, it'd be appreciative. I got to bring back Class of Friday. The only reason I haven't brought back Class of Friday yet is because I've been too busy with other stuff. Oh, thank you for the super chat. I didn't share the license. Yeah, I'll share that next. Thank you. Thank you for the comic. Thank you for the Comic Tropes super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Comic Tropes. I did get a personalized license plate. I forgot to get that. I'll show that next time. I will show that next time. But this is from Will. Thank you, Will, for this. And thank you for your support. And thank you for watching. It's very appreciated. And now this means I must bring back Class of Friday. I wanted to do Class of Friday all through Cobra Convergence, but the time just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. So, yes, from Will, we have a classified shipwreck. So yeah, I think this is this is I mean, yeah, I have to do a review of this. I've been very curious about this figure, but I didn't have it. I was like, I don't have the figure. Yes, I will. In fact, I would open this right now and show it to everyone, but I still have to deal with one more thing, and we have 20 minutes. We have 20 minutes. I've received one other box. It is not one that I can open, and I need to explain why. And this is something that I've got to make sure that I say things exactly the way that I intend to. So while I love you guys and I like seeing the chat, and I'm glad that you're all here, I'm actually going to switch away from the live chat for right now. So my apologies. I will not see super chats for a minute. So sorry about that. But just so I don't get distracted and I plow through and deal with the unpleasantness and get it over with, like ripping off a Band-Aid. So my apologies. I cannot see the live chat just now. But I need to address this. So last week, I got a box from someone that it was pieces from a Cobra base, basically like a 3D printed base with a piece that was similar to the Missile Command headquarters. In that video, just basically because of some things that were in the letter that was included in with the address that was included or that it was shipped from, I thought it might be someone in particular that I knew who sent it, but didn't attach his name to it. So I got another box from the same person, a larger box. The person did email me, said they were going to send a larger box. One thing that the person didn't do is in the email is say what his name was, because I had said, hey, if you are who I think you are, let me know. Send me an email. Let's let me know. So that was not included in the email that was sent to me, and so far, like, there's been nothing unfriendly. Everybody's been, this is somebody who's been very nice and in the past very supportive. But if it was who I thought it was, that's something that I can't not address. Because if it is who I thought it was, then it's someone who doesn't have the best reputation in the community and about whom people have legitimate complaints that are beyond just like saying mean things or just being like a toxic personality. More along the lines of not delivering on something that people paid for. Apparently, a lot of people, and it was a fairly high ticket item. So this is something that I don't have any firsthand knowledge of. I wasn't involved in it, but it's something that after it came to light, this person seemed to vanish from everywhere, from social media, from any other contact, that I had with that person. It just was gone. Personal accounts, couldn't find them. So that's not a good sign. So I get this box last week, and I showed it off, and I showed the website, the web address, and everything on camera. But the spider sense was tingling, but I didn't know for sure, right? I didn't know for sure. And if I'm wrong, I don't want to cause a problem for some other website and some other people. But I did notice that when if you go to the website that's in the letter, it still works. It's very sparse. It does not have the name of the person who runs it. Also, if you go to the Facebook group that is on the letter, it doesn't exist anymore. So it made me have to think about, if I am accepting things through the mail for free, and I'm putting them on the camera and showing people, who sent it, showing the web address, is that an endorsement by me of the product? I don't know. But what I do know is that if it is, I have to be really careful about what I endorse, because the people in this community are very important to me, and I want to be cautious about what I encourage them to, go check out and possibly spend money on. Look, I grew up in a very blue collar environment. I grew up in an environment where people didn't have a lot of money. So taking people's money is like a sin. People have a hard enough time getting by as it is. Taking people's money is that's really high on the the bad scale for me. Having kind of grown up without enough, people taking things that others use to get by in life, that's a bad one. That's one that I have to be really cautious about, and I don't want to be responsible for that happening to anyone else. So I don't know if it's an endorsement, and I may have to rethink how I show things on screen that I get through the PO box. I've got to really rethink that, because if it's something that's for sale, that you can go and buy, somebody could go spend money on it, then it could be interpreted as me endorsing it, even though I didn't ask them to send it. I didn't pay for it. That's also a problem. I didn't pay for it. So if you pay for it, I don't know that your experience will be the same as my experience, since I didn't pay for it. Maybe I get something and it's all great and it's grand. It's awesome. But you spend your money on the thing and it's not what you're expecting to get. I just don't want that. I don't want that to happen. So that's where we are. So the reason I can't open the other box is because it's not because I don't know who sent it. It's because I do know who sent it. This is someone who tried to cover his tracks. I mean, there was effort made. There was effort taken to conceal who the person actually was. Those efforts were mostly pretty good, but not good enough to keep me from finding pretty definitive evidence of exactly who it was. And I assume that person will see this person. If you see it, first of all, I'm not going to dox you. I'm not going to give your information out to anybody. That won't happen. I'm not saying your name, and I'm not saying your company's name here. A couple of things that I have to say, though. First of all, don't send me anything else. Don't send anything else. Second of all, I don't know what to do with what I have. I did open the box because that was sent to me because I wanted to see if there was any documentation, any letter, anything in there that actually said the person's name. Like if maybe the person would just come out and say, yes, it's me, but there wasn't anything that I saw in the box. I could send it back, but that's rather expensive for something that I didn't ask to be sent in the first place. I'm not really sure what to do, but ultimately I will be the one to decide what to do with it. That's now my choice. It's in my possession, and I will figure out what to do with it. The final thing that I would say to that person is, for a lot of people, it's too late for you to do the right thing. It's too late. There are some folks that will just, you've burned your bridges and you've burned up all your opportunities to make amends. But that's not an excuse for not doing the right thing. You do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not as exchange for something, not for some kind of guaranteed forgiveness or absolution. You can't guarantee that people will forgive you. You can't guarantee that people will move on and accept, that you've made amends or changed. You can't control that about people. You can only control what you do. And a person with integrity still has to do the right thing, even if for a lot of people it's too late. There are some folks that it won't be too late for. But I keep saying if it's the person, it's the person that I'm thinking of. So person, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I am not your enemy. I was your friend. I was someone who backed you, supported you, and you backed me and supported me. It's somebody that I've met in person. Somebody that I was friendly with. This is a friend of mine. I'm not your enemy. I am someone who wants things to go better for you. And that is something that can't happen until first responsibility is taken and secondly efforts have been made to make amends. I will also add, I guess I did have one more thing to say. So sending this to me under a pseudonym after the previous events really puts me in an awkward spot. And while I have been your friend, and I'm sure that you viewed the sending of things to me as a very generous and friendly thing to do, it puts me in a terribly awkward spot. And that's not so friendly. So please don't send anything else. Please don't send anything else. I'd said a few weeks ago that I was thinking about shutting down the P.O. box. I'm even more strongly considering that. The only reason that I'm hesitant to shut down the P.O. box is that if I need to work some kind of a trade with somebody, I need somebody that I know to send something to me. The P.O. box is the best way to do that. I don't give out my personal email address except for a small handful of very trusted people. And when you do what I do, you get, I've had emails from weirdos. I've had Facebook messages from weirdos. I've had stuff sent to the PO box. I've had packages from weirdos. I've had letters from weirdos. It's just it kind of comes with the territory. I've had people make like really thinly veiled efforts to get my personal contact information unsuccessfully. So that's why the PO box exists. Because there are occasions when I will need to physically get something from someone, and I don't want my personal address to be broadly available. So even so, it puts me in a tough spot. It puts me in an uncomfortable spot. So it's not necessary to contact me again. It'd be useless to deny who you are. That would be useless. And there isn't really anything to say to me. There's a lot to say to a lot of other people, but there's nothing really to say to me. I don't, as far as I'm concerned, the matter is closed. So honestly, contacting me after this would not be of very much use. Contacting me and denying who you are would be insulting. Don't do that. But that's what I have to say about it. Now, I hate drama, and this is getting awfully close to drama, and it may cross that line. It may cross that line, and I hate that. It's one of my rules is that I don't do drama. And really the only reason that I felt like I had to say something is because if I don't say something, then I am giving possibly tacit endorsement to someone who I shouldn't. And that affects me, and it affects everyone who watches. It affects every one of you. And I don't want to put myself in that position. I don't want to put you in that position. So I had to address it. I reluctantly. This is the last I will say about it. It will never be brought up again. And in fact, it really doesn't matter. Even if I do hear from the person, it's never being brought up here again. It's done. It's over. But that's the unpleasantness that I wanted to address. And now that I've addressed it, I'm going to wrap up the show. Again, I apologize. I have clicked away from the live stream because I wanted to focus on and try to say exactly what I wanted to say. And I hope I've done that. If you would like to get involved with G.I. Joe adjacent projects from reputable people, there are some great ones out there. Take a look at, for instance, What's on Joe Mind. They're talking to Easy Kill 9, Call Sign Longbow, Delta 17, Operation Recall. The list goes on. It is a great time to be a fan of independent toy makers. There's a lot of people doing O-ring toys. There are a lot of people doing 6-inch action figures, doing some amazing work, and they have a track record of being honest and ethical. Look at those guys. Those are the ones who are doing it right. And that's the note I want to leave you on, and I will wrap up, I guess, about a minute early. Thank you, everyone. That's the end of that topic. I will see everyone next week. Thank you for being patient, and I will talk to you again later. Bye, everyone. Go watch What's on Joe Mind. They are next.